It's not showing here. I think.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it started. I think. Yeah.
It
Uh,
started, ma'am.
yes, it started. You
Oh,
can. Can you please give the introduction again because it was not in the recording.
okay, ma'am. Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah. Please. Thank you.
So today we have, good afternoon, one and all. So today we have Professor Man Singh with us. So sir is currently professor and dean, School of Chemical Sciences, Central University of Gujarat, Gandhinagar. Sir has done masters from Chaudhry Charan Singh University, Meerut. Delhi. So sir started academic career from Deshbandhu. He availed UNDP assignment as associate professor, Bahir Dar University, Ethiopia. And in 2007 to 8, he was visiting professor in Kyoto University, Japan. Also in 2014, he was visiting a professor at UKSW, Warsaw, Poland, and he's credited with US, European, Singapore, and Indian patents. So he has guided dozens of PhDs, MPhils, and master's students. He is credited with 150 research papers in peer-reviewed national and international journals and 8 patents. He has visited several countries like USA, Japan, Switzerland, Germany, Singapore, UK, and he works in the area of nanomaterial interaction engineering. So I welcome you, sir. So over to you, sir. Kindly start with the today's session.
Thank you very much. So, hmm. So my slides are visible. Slides are
Not yet, sir.
slides are.
Yeah. Now they are visible, sir. Yeah, they are visible, sir.
So, should I start? Should I
Yes,
start?
sir. Please start, sir. Please start.
Visible.
So, thank
Now
you very
slide
much.
is visible.
Good afternoon, all of you. And it is an opportunity with me to interact with the intellectuals. However, I do not have any capacity to deliver a lecture, but I will try to interact with the intellectuals and hope that this session may be fruitful and hope that this session will work both ways because if I keep talking, and there is also, I expect that there should be also some kind of some queries, questions, ideas, suggestions, and other things, whatever it is there, so that we can make this session fruitful and active from both the sides. So my topic today for regarding this research methodology is that inventive and receptive mindset, the foundation of the research methodology. Uh, Actually, if we carefully and very cautiously see our own day-to-day that activity profile, so everyone is inventive, everyone is receptive, everyone has inventive, receptive mindset. But and of course, whatever, suppose I'm thinking, I started my day, my mind starts working, maybe routine, maybe some deviations, and maybe something else. So a routine becomes a kind of a dull that methodology. But deviations are always very welcome, and they lead to a something great, and some may also lead to something where the new thinking process, the new activities, the new foundations could be laid down. So the activities, thinking, ideas, and also implementation. and all kind of shades. I think there's no any negative thing in the science. So whatever on the mathematical axis, the whole profile, if we sum up and integrate and analyze, so probably it seems to be a research methodology. And the point is that we are very casual is in our day-to-day working, thinking, and activities. This is a very, very upsetting thing, because we have to uh, think, and we have to also, somewhere document. So if thinking only, activities, okay, product is same true, but if it is not documented, if it is not properly uh, uh, transformed into a some readable that product, or some in any form where it is documented and record. So this record itself becomes a very, very milestone in our research career, in our teaching career, in our all kind of careers, because all sections of the society, they are taking knowledge from, of course, from their parents, and parents also have been educated in the university college systems. So this I was so glad I attended the inaugural session, and the knowledge economy was mentioned by the director of the provost of PP Savani University. So this is truly a very spontaneous thing. I think if I plan that, I will think that is a forced kind of activity, but the spontaneous, the natural, spontaneous and natural ideas, actions, talks, they truly become the inventive and receptive. However, if I do not pay attention for any natural response, or for any kind of spontaneous response, and I casually ignore, do not take it seriously, then probably I am doing a crime. Any idea, once it is nurtured, incubated, probably it leads to a remarkable foundation. All ideas, they have great potential, and these potentials were missing because of our own activities. Suppose I am teaching in the class, I should encourage the students. They are the real wealth for knowledge economy. Their mind is completely fresh, and truly, if we inspire them, whatever their response towards our teaching, their response towards our university system, their response towards natural system, hope that that is not biased, that is not connected with any tuned thing, that is a natural. So if those things are nurtured, promoted, cultured, hope that such brains become inventive, such brain become receptive. We have to not only casually think, take and read, but we have to add something additional, so that if what in within my capacity, if I have added something, then the idea, if it is cultured by 1%, 2% by me, it could be a visible. So others could may also join hands, and definitely would contribute to make it a banyan tree. So in this context, if I say that these days, what is going on? Why this surface topography everywhere? Take any field, take any area of the education, or any area of the work activities, whether the computer, or whether the books, or whether the kitchen, or whether the camera, or my table, chair, and the mobile set. Why this topography, surface topography? Before Corona, it was, of course, there was does not mean it was missing. But this corona event has created some kind of a additional awareness about the surface topography, sanitizers, so many things that are coming up. I am not saying that it is spontaneous, but I am saying that somewhere situations, natural situations are created. No one has created this. I will not say anything, this and that, but naturally, if we see that it's it has now existence. So to deal with and to uh, just find out the remedies and to curb it down. The people, different kind of sanitizers, surface cleaning, hand surface cleaning, room cleaning, vehicle cleaning, office cleaning. So it has given a some kind of or I will not say that discipline, but of course it has developed a kind of surface domain or the sanitizer, especially not for the for use for like eating and all, but for surface only. So that domain has probably come in a little bit high profile, and now developing sanitizer, its different methodologies, how it is to be used, how much percent of ethanol, how much percent of another things, NaOCl. So it is a kind of integrated from A to Z. People are trying so that it is safer, so that not that create any undesired reaction or some other harm. So it could it has taken a shape of kind of a well-defined surface engineering. So that way, because now everyone is taking it seriously, receptive. Everyone, suppose someone is talking new sanitizer has come, people are receptive. Let us see which kind of new sanitizer has come. So inventive means that infers ability to create. Many that companies have come forward and they have created different kind of designs and extra. They claim that extraordinary sanitizer. So it is a thinking that they plan to think something extra by in response of this coronavirus. So receptive, willing to consider the changes, and not only to consider but to promote the changes, new suggestions, new ideas from any source. Source is immaterial. The potential ideas should be nurtured, and it happens that it opens also the very positive response to that. If we suppose some impression is created, I am talking now. We are discussing here. Any kind of impression will be created if something that yes, this could be taken further forward for second generation. I think that actions are also required. So mindset, we have to a philosophy. It is a philosophy that we have to be in the creative mode. We have to be in a developing mode. We have to be in a very culturing mode. So these all modes really become an asset to the developing world, not only for one individual country. So we can say that if our cutting edge thinking and our kind of a contributing thinking and additive mindset, then definitely something new could come. So when something new could come, definitely some new inventions, some new breakthroughs could be evolved. And those initially, however, no one knows, because initially the only idea, but later on by nurturing incubation, the things come forward by different interpretations, analysis. So overall, this seems that this teaching research area is a kind of an opportunity with all of us, because we are in knowledge creating, we are in knowledge imparting, that institutions and the foundations of the country, they are also by the products by the students whom we shape up and whom we also impart the knowledge. So it is a very highest responsibility I find, and a mere only teaching and what are being discussed in the class, if they are not further taken to the next generation, and not some adequate research is not conducted on them, I think that way. Pardon? Should I continue? Should I continue? Hello?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Yes, sir.
So please give me direction. If I'm here and there, please give me direction.
Okay, sir.
So Vichen, yes, please.
सर आपकी आवाज थोड़ा सा कट रही है, बस इतना।
आवाज कट रही है?
हाँ, मतलब पता नहीं साउंड का थोड़ा।
तो आवाज तो कटनी नहीं चाहिए सर।
Actually, sir, your voice is clear. Maybe
Priyanka,
Devans
please pin on sir's presentation.
Presentation.
Please check your network, please. Sir, your voice is clear, sir. Please continue.
Okay, thank you. So now we can say that if we conclude, then that theme thought theory becomes a remarkable tool. How themes are developed, thought, how theories are developed if all are clubbed together. So theme thought theory seems to be a foundation within the theta theory. Theta theory means, suppose I am working on some trouble, or I am working in some specific area. I desire to get some solution, and the solution is not found. It means my solution was not in this direction, so I have to change the direction. So within 360, theta theory means within 360 solution exists. Rather than surrendering, we have to go for another options within 360 angle. So theta theory becomes a very, very important in finding the adequate solutions, because research is to look for the new avenues and also the solution finding degree of freedom. So that way probably our research methodology should be that we should not surrender. Rather, some results are coming, some negative. So we have to find out why such and such parameters are coming. So now if we have a look, why creative thinking and why risk taking is extraordinary? Is it natural hunger? Is it pushed by someone? Is it a risk taking to rise? Is it asking questions from self or others? If I ask question from myself, I'm sure I will introspect myself and will do something rather than asking someone else. Is it to explore reality which sets in deepest, which is in the deepest roots? Is it daring to catch dreams and to take up to the next state or next generation? Or we are doing repeated things? Do nature's interactions, discussions, and keen observations lead to develop a historic vision which peep into the past or future? So now we can see, if you have these look, after seeing the pictures, after seeing certain experiments, color and all, our mind responds. If our mind responds, then non-obvious ideas are generated. Non-obvious ideas are the only way. So rather than just taking it casually, any event, anything which is making us to think non-obviously. So these non-obvious ideas probably become a remarkable theme thought theory and would lead to a very, very extraordinary breakthroughs. So similarly, who creates, who discovers, who invents, explores non-obvious ideas? A new state of art is set in joint ventures. We know that Newton was sitting under apple tree. He was so vigilant. He was so cautious in his thinking. The apple came. he immediately started to analyze. And now we know the Newton's theory. Well, so it means that everyone knows also Raman. We talk about Raman spectroscopy and Raman, C.V. Raman. That momentary flow of spontaneous ideas. He was looking at, see, why blue? Because light matter interactions. No one gave thought to that, only C.V. Raman. So I think this nature and the whole world is a biggest laboratory, and we miss these remarkable interactions. And that's why we think that research is somewhere else. No, research is not somewhere else. Research in our mind. So there is a need to capture a theme, a real venture for maybe any intellectual property right, or maybe your new paper, maybe your new model, maybe your new theory, a new book. So nucleation of ideas is said to grow frame for roots and shoots. Nucleation of ideas in our mind should be there. Then only we can say if there is no nucleation of ideas, your crystal will not be developed. We say that nucleation of crystals, lattice, motive, lattice. So if motives are not put on the nucleation mode, if our thinking is not put in our nucleation mode, there will be no outcome. So striking exodus is spontaneously, definitely. We know very well that question was given to find the purity of the gold in the crown of the king, and then to the Archimedes. Archimedes he was in trouble, and when he was taking bath, he found that buoyancy effect. So Eureka, because he was so cautious and also taking each and every response in a very inventive way. His mind was very receptive to those responses. So inventive and receptive to any specific response becomes a eureka. So expressions we know very well. Andreas Vesalius, father of surgery, he just wanted to see what is he was a father of surgery, wanted to see what is inside the body, and he started to digging out the dead bodies, and so he was also caught. That is different issue, but these are the, I think, certain criteria where we could definitely, if pay attention and we come in this mode, definitely these points could lead to a remarkable things. So unhindered and uninterrupted exodus of vague thoughts. Sometimes we say it is a vague. There is no vague thought, no vague idea, and these are the only golden ideas. Vague ideas then are not bounded by boundaries. They are free. If there's a different question that we are not able to analyze them, and we do not analyze them, we say them vague. But they may not be suiting to us, then also we say vague. So I think thinking that failure is a golden theory for historic inventions. I have already explained. There's no failure. Failure is a real gold basically in our life. Failure says that if you are systematic, experimenting in any area, if you are not getting result, then it says, please do not follow this solution and your required things are not here. Go to another shop, go to another country, go to another university, go to another lab. So this is the order of the failure. So this becomes a very remarkable thing, and these ideas definitely lead to a very, very golden things. Another important point: opportunity grabbers are never inventors; they are only opportunity grabbers. Odds grabbers are historic inventors, or transforming opportunities. These are, I think, those people are the real heroes and scientists, philosophers, and inventors, which really do not grab the opportunities, but believe in creating the opportunities. The whole world is full of such examples. So I'm not going to focus them. So we can say that that the spontaneous idea, it could be a gateway for novel breakthrough. remarkable. We know very well that Rudolf Clausius' story. Uh, we represent this entropy by symbol S, but we have never paid attention. Actually, Sadi Carnot, we know Sadi Carnot, cycle French physicist in 1824. He was working on some, in fact, a carpenter which he wanted to make a hole in the wooden plank by fitting one a spiral iron that part. So when he saw that the person, it was rotated, but the heat was generated. So Sadi Carnot thought that there is some trouble inside. We do not know why the heat is generated, because there we are human energy is being used to make a hole, but energy is generated. There is some internal trouble. So, but he could not do, and he, at the age of 34, he died. And though he wrote an article, in that he mentioned this particular event. And this article, caught the eyes of Rudolf Clausius. And Rudolf Clausius studied that article. And when he found that Sadi Carnot says that there is some internal disorder. And Rudolf Clausius, though he gave the, he tried to find the solution. But internally, there's a disorder, atoms, electrons, functional groups, they are making different kind of oscillatory motions in response of the temperature, in response of the pressure, in response of some different ingredient. So he found a solution. I understood. Then he was having so great ethical values that he did not, coin this S with his name, but because Sadi Carnot, so S is represented, he gave the credit to the Sadi Carnot. So entropy is represented by S. This is a very, very remarkable example, ethical values. We know Carl Benz, carburetor, Benz, the inventor of this carburetor, the car. I don't know what happened. The person invented this carburetor and developed a small car also. But he was so afraid that he was not able to take it on the road. So his wife knew this, that he is so afraid of his this newly made car and carburetor that not trying to drive on the road. So when this Carl Benz went on holiday somewhere for some maybe 10 days or 15 days, then his wife talked to his parents that she has to go to meet her parents because her parents are not well. But that mother of the Carl Benz said that you cannot go, and she in fact basically insisted to take that car. But he said no. His mother told, no, you cannot take car of my son because he has sacrificed whole life to make this car. Something may happen. She was insisted, no, this is the situation that she has to go early. So she took that car, drove that for 100 kilometers. And now this is the, recorded, that first journey covered by four-wheeler, 100 kilometers. So after that, this car came on the road. So sometimes we have to be little bit out of the fear. Similarly, Kevlar, everyone knows Kevlar polymer and stronger hydrogen bonding with the Kevlar. And Stephanie Cobalt, we also know. Her student was working and on some polymer synthetic work. And Stephanie Kolek also was planning to develop, German scientist, was planning to develop a light-weighted polymers to be used for tire. So her student one day left in the whatever reaction she conducted in the daytime, and she left as such and went away. And second day when she came, she found something new, and she reported to the Stephanie Quellec, and then she told that, oh, great thing, it is something remarkable. So they tried it was accidental, that invention. They tried to develop it, and then it was Kevlar. It is 10 times stronger than the steel and hold this ballistic research and ballistic that equipment. They are using this Kevlar. Similarly, we know very well that Svante Arrhenius, for he came from the village, poor person, and completed his PhD, and it was for defense. So in the first time, the examiners told, no, it is not up to the mark. Then recommended, okay, next time. Next time also examiner told, it is not up to the mark. Third time also told, then they told, now it will be rejected. Then Svante Arrhenius requested, please give me one more chance because of so many situations. So fourth time it was recommended. On the same work, after 20 years, he got the Nobel Prize. So I think there are so many things where we have to coordinate and we have to develop the equilibrium, and then only we can say do something. Ludwig Boltzmann story, we also know that 1905 he suicided by hanging on the tree. He was so, people were so critique of him that he is doing unwanted thing, this and that. But now everyone is using Boltzmann constant. So what to talk about these things? So ultimately, we have to switch little bit for something advanced more. I don't know, by chance we do this kitchen chemistry in kitchen, oil and different kind of spices and heat also. The same thing are done which are done in the laboratory. So this experiment was going on, and suddenly, you can have this is called the reverse micelle, where the hydrophobically, like olive oil or mustard oil or something like this, they made with the treatment, they made they are reflecting the light. So light reflecting ability is attained by the oil. While when oil was in the bottle, it could not reflect the light. So that way we could say that science needs the extraordinary vision, and also the analysis, and also very one should be very vigilant, and anything should not go unnoticed. So now these nano emulsions would be used for photonic thin film. Thin film technology is very excellent. Heat dissipating technology, thin film heat dissipating technology also very excellent. In solar trapping, if they are thin film, because they are responding to the light, and the electrons of the atoms or molecules of the oil, olive oil or this thing, they are now excited to different energy state and emitting light of different wavelength. So this overall scene becomes a very remarkable, a monodispersion science, asset for nanotechnology, asset for photonic nanoemulsions, and dominated by hydrophobicity. Hydrophobicity means, for example, oil is not dissolved in the water. However, it is a different, very challenging and very interesting research work that develop the nanoemulsions. So such things could be very useful for the drug dispersion, and to study the pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics of the drug, because their distribution as well as their action, they need an excellent and that medium. So buffer and other, where if the medium is very cohesively packed, then drug molecules could not be dispersed. And when they are not dispersed, they're coagulated, they're agglomerated. Then rather than interacting here and there, they are interacting with self. So they are like a stored mechanism, in the stored mechanism. So nanoemulsions are very important for bringing any functional molecule to the working mode. So now same thing is also that their charges, when surface forces, when there's a nanoemulsion, then they are monodispersal mode. Each atom is in the atomic or oscillatory mode. So when they're in the oscillatory mode, that time these atoms, they are very responsive towards the temperature, towards the pH, and towards the light, and towards also any kind of chemical activity if they are brought in contact of that. So it means the cohesive and frictional or spreading, both forces are working together. Because I quoted the example of this drug coagulation or cohesive forces, means they are interacting self, but there is a need that they should interact with the medium. They should be spreaded with the medium, then only they can go to the blood. If they are interacting with the not I am saying strongly, moderately interacting, and then with the blood, so they could be supplied to the tissue and whole body. But if there is a they are making coagulated state, stronger cohesive forces, then they will get settled. They will not be dispersed. So it means the cohesive forces and also the spreading or adhesion or the frictional forces, they work together, hand in hand. So such signs where cohesive force and frictional force work hand in hand to make your formulation functional, to make your formulation industrially important. That parameter is called frequohesity. So this frequohesity is an invention. It came by these things and it is patented. Whole world is using it. So this frequohesity is calculated with Mansingh equation. So now generally we have looked and see the things as I was talking about the this corona and sanitizers. So we had a look on this and we found that this your traditional that sanitizers, if you take this the surface cleaning except from living systems, so that time this sodium hypochlorite, it is generally it is used, but for and spraying on the valuable surfaces, but it is corrosive. And similarly, if you use ethanol, 70% ethanol, higher osmotic pressure, it acts as a dehydrant. It interacts with your body ingredients. So it is also harmful. So ultimately, we developed or quantized organic sanitizer where no sodium hypochlorite, no any ethanol, no any methanol, no any other surfactant, directly phytochemicals. So this, and we have also tested and worked successfully because we know geraniol oil, nerol, so many valuable phytochemicals are present in the this orange peel and other things. So just a question of formulation and that understanding their values. So the point is this, that see the pros. So the surface area, when it was nanoemulsion, then the molecule is having the molecule which is supposed to clean or to interact with the virus. It should have the larger surface area, and it is like a single page of a book. If you take a book, if you take this whole book, this all area, the book is means limited surface area, and limited surface area size maximum, and to picking up more force is required. It means activation energy is, it needs higher activation energy. But if I pick up a page, this page, it becomes, it has larger surface area. If I open this and align to each other like this, it will be more than 10 meter or 20 meter. So maximum surface area, maximum kinetic energy, and entropy maximum, least activation energy. So definitely such quantized, such organic sanitizer or such sanitizers which are made up of, which we have prepared in our Central University, Gujarat. So these such formulations, they are as per standards by all the ways. Their activation energy is least, because we know very well, when I take the food and rice or something else, and I feel sleepy. Why? But if someone takes juice, and then if someone takes juice, and I do not know if someone can tell me that after taking juice, person is feeling sleepy. No, because juice has nano hydration sphere, no bulk, completely mono adhesive. Whatever molecules are there, water is there, small millions of nano hydrations, because aqua system there. So similarly, this or quantized organic sanitizer, all molecules were in the oscillatory mode, so they could easily access to the suppose because coronavirus is RNA dominated, so RNA linked with sugar, phosphate, and bases. So there are sensitive interfacial energy sites. Since these quantized organic sanitizers, they act as a remarkable, authentic, and ultra accurate, highly resolved sensor. So they could read that, and they can enter the interfacial energy of the this coronavirus. And definitely interaction means their original structure is lost. So when original structure is lost because of our quantized organic sanitizer or molecular, this is also called molecular tweezer, because they can enter molecularly, it can tweeze out, it can make the best use of the interfacial energy of the dust particle. When the dust particle on the only solid surface, in between there is a one thin, between these two surfaces, that energy or two surfaces are not closely packed. So it means here this energy gap could be used for by the quantized sanitizers. So this research in our Central University of Gujarat has become in a very remarkable way and fitted by all the ways. So we cannot say that only solution of traditions. We gave a thought to this. We did not blindly follow, go to the market and buy the sanitizer, and then let us do, because we are surviving. We are taking that photochemical. So plants, of course, along with oxygen, giving everything. So this was the situation that we and quantized. I am telling it is not organic sanitizer, but it is quantized organic sanitizer, because it is on the quantum mode. When it is a monolayer dispersion, so atoms are not self-bound or not self-agglomerated, or molecules are not self-agglomerated. Have they been crowd? If you take a crowd and jam-packed crowd, closely packed crowd, you cannot distinguish the activities of individual person. However, when individual intellectual, like all of you people are so great, you people are so intellectually strong. If you are individually working, then your work is identified. So this is that thing. Now this is a very old thing. We know very well that in Roman paganism, people think that this lotus has a special significance, in that when it has a special significance that no one is washing the lotus leaves, and they are naturally neat and clean. You might have never seen the dust deposition on the lotus temples, lotus leaves. what is the reason? Reason is a very simple. The dust particles come on the surfaces, and this sometimes people say that it is having some structure like some chitin type structure, but no, it is not chitin type structure. Of this spongy humps are there, and what happens that dust particles get stuck here. So what happens then in the night time, when dew, the water moistures, they condense. When they condense, when they were in the moisture form, they were having larger surface area, they were having least activation energy, they were having high kinetic energy. So because of low temperature in the night, they condense. When they condense, they form the droplets. And since it is not that it is the position of the lotus temple tilted. So what happens when because cohesive forces are already there, so drop is integrated. Water has also dipole, so it has also surface charges, and the surface charges, so these surface charges, they interact with the dust and they take it along with them, along with the drop. So the cohesive means it was acting as a drop, moderate drop, not of large size drop. At the same time, its surface forces, they were taking the dust particle along with this. Because of surface charges, surface was not defunct. So at that time, the cohesive and frictional forces again came in the existence, and whatever dust was there, it was completely removed. So this is the theory that it is not any Oriental religion and this and that belief, but it is a full-fledged science. Now, same thing. I was talking about this quantized nano sanitizers. So if there are very nano or micro that cavities in your vegetable or in your fruit, so since, as I told you, quantized sanitizer, it could reach them and it can take it out. So that way, this quantized nano organic sanitizer is excellent for washing the veggies and fruits, completely pesticide free and completely virus free. We have conducted experiments and we found that the cleaning before and after, this is before washing, and you can see after, before washing, and below one is after washing. So you can easily distinguish that dust particles are completely removed. And again, this thing, we are again coming to this photonic nanoemulsions. See, this is the left-hand side, large-sized droplets where no any molecule is added to develop or to adhere the water molecule. But when we have added here simple starch of specific molecular weight and certain amount, the salt and certain spices, we got a large-sized that photonic nanoemulsions and reflecting light. So this proves that such sciences, if we little bit pay attention, then definitely this monodispersion phenomena, that is 2D phenomena, based on the quantization, generates the phonons, means when when photons h nu are interacting with the matter, and this matter further develops millions of h nus of different energies. These are called phonons. Of course, photons, but emitted. So Such sciences, I have already explained that an acid for nanoscience, and based on this whole theory, now question to determine its potential. So since it has specific that cohesive force and specific that adhesion, mono adhesion. So if it is subjected to certain magnetic field, electric field, then temperature, sonication, optical energy, then definitely we could further take this research to the next generation. So for this purpose, we have developed the fructofluidic meter. This fructofluidic meter tracks all these parameters, and it is already patented with the European Patent Office, and it has the jurisdiction of Germany, France, and UK. So, however, it's German that patent is under commercialization process. So, and almost all the theories and all the dimensions, because it is a multi-channel process where you have to get fitted the magnetic field to further enhance the properties so that they are measured, because we know very well that relation of magnetic field and electronic alignment. So that alignment could treat the cancer and could treat any disease, because we have to induce such a properties in nanoemulsions so that it can become a remarkable medicinal formulation. So similarly, that thermal energy, electrical energy, I have already explained. But simply, if we see microwave, this thing, application, microwave at the house, and this, we know very well that the proteins on getting heat, hot, they are unfolded, and they get different kind of conformational states. So again, larger surface area and their alpha beta chains are completely deconvoluted. So then it is deformed. It is deformed protein. So I don't know that in microwave, we just put this accidentally, and suddenly there was a blast. So we just did the experiment for 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, and then this egg here and broken and largely broken. But when more time, this is. So we found that the microwave, it is indirectly heating the generating the heat. Why? Because there are electrostatic poles in the proteins, that Jutter ions, and microwave electromagnetic wave only works for the dipolar substances. I'm sure if you keep the Teflon in the microwave, it will not be heated. So dipoles, because electromagnetic radiations, they have also dipole, so they develop the quadrupole. In developing the quadrupolar arrangement, so oscillations too much, and oscillations too much, atomic oscillations, then heat is generated. So that's why we get heat hot the food in the microwave oven. It is a very simple chemistry that if you see that take a tea, and this tea is taken in the only sugar, milk, they are in the situation where no any spices are added. So we found that with time, the protein, casein, agglomerated and from the milk, and also the fat makes a thick layer. While when we have added the certain, clove, ginger, black pepper, and others, Then see the bottom. There was no fat deposition. There was no any casein protein agglomeration. So this we can say that these spices, they are further enhancing the monodispersion, and this monodispersion tea is excellent because surface area of the ingredients larger and larger, and also activation energy least, and they could easily be distributed in the body, while the upper one where no clove or ginger or black pepper or other things are added, then the scene is before you. It is simply a cognizance. You are taking prepared, you have prepared tea, working with time, you saw, something is deposited on the top of this. And we also know that milk bomb, that water never that boils out while milk is boiled out. Why? Means whole amount comes out. If we are heating the milk and by chance we a little bit do not pay attention, within no time it whole milk comes out. Very simple. Point is this, that milk has fat, and this fat by temperature comes at the top, and it makes not a thin film. Had it made a thin film, it is okay, but it has made a thick film at the top. So when the heat is supplied from the in the kitchen, so what happens? All the molecules, they are gaining kinetic energy and oscillations, but they want to go away like a water. In case of water, there's no thin film, any film, so they can go escape as such. So what happens? That ultimately, when this too much heat is generated, then almost all molecules critical above the critical temperature, they come out. So when they come out, since they have already gained higher kinetic energy, so they can gain the velocity. The mass will come out. So this is a simple theory that we have to little bit pay attention. If we, I am sharing this thing because variety of disciplines of people are attending this, so that way probably it could be useful. Now ultimately, after going through so many critical, noble, and non-conventional thoughts, or converted into the products, or converted into the theme. So ultimately, we should be in position to give a model that the model, that roots and shoots invention model. If we have a look here at the bottom, see, thousands of ideas, they come in the mind, but mind keeps boggling here and there, which idea, this and that. So ultimately, filtering takes time. Filtering of ideas in the brain takes time. So we give a logical thinking and so many other things, and we ultimately reach on the conclusion, okay, this idea could be excellent. So sprouting, like a root sprout. So that sprouting starts, means your focusing starts. When you start focusing the specific idea and you keep working, then a critical condition comes, energy barrier. If you are able to overcome this, then you will have either patent or the paper or some product. So in general, most of the people, they are held up in the energy barrier or this critical zone only. So if you cross some, then definitely it will start giving the fruits we have. So this is a roots and shoots invention model, very simple, nothing else. So now, we know very well that you are keeping oil. If you teach the students what is this nano emulsion, how they gain the functional activities. If you take a oil in the beaker, no such thing will happen because it is the bulk. But if you take water and take a small amount of kerosene oil, paraffin oil, and just this will be spreaded, then photons will come because it is a nano emulsion, nano thin film, and atoms rather than engaging, or molecules, kerosene molecule, rather than engaging with themselves, they are now responding the photons. So they are
limitation. They pray to God for wisdom. Do you believe in theology? Like, do you, like, in addition to doing research every day, do you talk to God? Can you combine chemistry and theology to do contribution in science?
Okay, that was a very private question. You answer it if you feel like it.
I'm not sure whether I understood it. The question is whether I'm talking to God.
Yeah.
No? Obviously, maybe people don't know it, but it's not a secret. I was raised Catholic. Now my religion turned out to be quite much science, in the sense that all my focus is on science, and I believe in what I'm doing as a scientist, and what science shows us in terms of at least how do you say, showing us the nice part of nature, which is what the CRISPR discovery has shown. Very nice and sophisticated, yet simple mechanism of life that can be used for helping society and humanity.
Thank you.
Maybe it does not answer directly your question, but okay.
It was an elegant elaboration. Thank you. Now, Thomas von Heine.
Congratulations.
Should I continue?
The Swedish Television Public Service.
Should I continue?
We know that.
Yes, sir. Continue, please, sir. Someone else's voice is coming.
I am listening some voice from somewhere.
Yes, sir. You can continue.
Should I? Okay. So now the same theory is, if we wanted to dissolve the flavonoids in the water, but they were not dissolved because of solubility restriction. They were not dissolved. So we wanted to dissolve. So therefore, we use some interlocutor. That interlocutor was DMSO. So we used 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, and 5%. We went up to 9%. So this Apus DMSO 9% could not dissolve, could not solubilize the flavonoids. So we thought, let us do what happens. So slightly we went ahead 9.7. It made a remarkable nano emulsion. You can see here there are two kinds of emulsions. Micro emulsions are opaque. Nano emulsions are transparent. This should understand that the science and thermodynamics and kinetics of the micro emulsions and nano emulsions. If you see right hand side extreme, nano emulsion, transparent, because nano size, and these nano size, however, they are thermodynamically, kinetically a little bit unstable. But if you tune them, the experimental conditions, the stoichiometric conditions, you can find them stable. So we found this stable, no further agglomeration. As I told you, that remarkable nano hydration sphere. However, in case of the micro emulsions, these get coagulated. When they get coagulated, not perfectly coagulated, but yes, they get coagulated. So different kind of size of coagulations is there. So they diffract when light comes. then light diffraction patterns is blurred and different because there is no of one size of the agglomerates. However, in the standard nanoemulsions, almost same size of nanohydration sphere. Therefore, their emitted light pattern is not blurred. It is completely like this as you are seeing. So we have conducted, further we studied the flavonoids. Flavonoids, you know very well, they are the antioxidants. And the free radicals in the body are generated. So these antioxidants, they scavenge the free radical. For them, you need a remarkable nanoemulsion so that the activities of your antioxidant is involved in the, is adhering to the free radical, that is highest frequency. Highest frequency means no cohesive force. If it is a cohesive force, then high density will settle at the bottom. But if it is a weakest cohesive force, then they will go to the free radicals or free radical generating molecule. So that way, this science is very remarkable. And similarly, this is also based on pesticides. This is a molecular economy. This particular, I'm focusing on the molecular economy, that you have to functionalize each molecule of your solution so that it can give you adequate result. No molecule should waste because of wrong formulation. So frequency is a remarkable parameter. Frequency is a remarkable parameter where if you see this graph, see if I see that surface tension which represents the cohesive force, if it is highest and I put it in, then wettability or monotic person is very poor. But if it is cohesive force is least, then wettability is higher. And eta is the viscosity, H is the column rise of your sample, T is T, and gamma is the surface tension. So these parameters are measured by Indian invention, which is commercialized by Borosil, that is service meter. So these farmers are also benefited because that service meter calibrates, standardizes the nanoemulsion, and it lets you know the farmers take pesticide. Pesticide is agglomerated, then least surface area, and no spreading ability. So larger pesticide molecules occupy a small surface. Such economy, see this drop at the bottom, they are like this. We want to reduce the cohesive forces completely, so that highest wettability the farmer is doing this. So service meter is a farmer friendly, eco-friendly research invention of this country. So the farmers are benefited, kitchen industries also benefited, laundry industries also benefited, so organic sanitizer industries also benefited, ink industries also benefited. So many things are there which are tracked and studied by the service meter. It will come. So now this is the farmer I have already explained on the leaves. Leaves are valuable because they are photosynthesized, doing photosynthesis, developing food for you. So if the only this pesticide molecule are adhered on that without any function, then no use. They should be spread like this whole area, least amount. So it is the molecular economy that functionalizing the molecules, making the best use for industrial application, for farmers, for kitchen, and for others. So I'll see the surface. I was talking about surface topology because these again are working on a nanoemulsion. It is not a bulk. It is a nano rods. These nano rods are functionalized. And now we know very well, I want to just a kind of a interactive mode, that why do we use thermometer? Why do we use mercury in the thermometer? Why people say it is a cancerous. It is not medically useful, but still we are using mercury, and it gives ultra accurate value. However, there is a alcohol thermometer and other thermometers, but it is mercury is not substituted. The question is very simple. The frequency of the mercury here is very least, because it is having highest cohesive forces. So it does not have wettability. So it does not wet out the inner capillary of the mercury. So wetting out means energy is required. So if you want to measure the temperature of your body, and the material which is covering the column rise coming up, it is also utilizing some of your energy in surface friction or surface interactions, then your accurate temperature value of your body could not be measured. So this is the fundamental science that the mercury is doing now good results for you. So Daniel, Gabriel, and Fahrenheit, all these were scientists in 1714. They measured, they developed this. So like this, many things keep moving. Now, very surprising, we were conducting an experiment. We took ferric chloride. Here is a ferric chloride. But when we took, the experiment was with UCST, means upper critical solution temperature. As I told you in the beginning, that two immiscible phases of liquids like phenol and water, oil and water, if they are homogenized mutually, then they gain extraordinary properties. So we took water and methanol in a particular ratio, stoichiometry, and we have added certain amount of ferric chloride. We wanted to see at what temperature homogenization occurs. It was a very utter surprise to us that we found 2 points. It gave the homogenization at 2 temperature points. We were not able to know what is going on, because we didn't know. We have added only one, while we have taken MgCl2, calcium chloride, so many others. They give only 1 critical point, while it gave 2 points. So we reached on the conclusion that this, if you see this ferric chloride, it is reduced. When it is reduced, releasing 1 electron, and this H of phenol, because it is a weak that acid, H proton comes out, and this proton receives this electron. It means now 2 iron in situ oxidational changes of metal. So that's why we reached on the conclusion it is a very interesting research, like a invention of the mercury, but it is paper came okay, everything. So now similarly we keep talking that wrinkles, nasobial wrinkles on the body, face. So how anti-wrinkle arrangement could be made to make your body without wrinkle, face without wrinkle. So these are all lifelines. Now what happens? Generally KCl aqueous gel is used. This KCl aqueous gel, because it K cation and Cl anion, because of its charges, and K charge almost same, and Cl charge, no, charge and size. K size 19 and Cl, one comes here 18. K plus 18 and Cl minus 1, 18 electron. So because of this, their size and 1:1 electrolyte, in this gel, when it is used, they start interacting with those forces which were responsible for making the wrinkles. Force interface versus crack theory. Fundamentally, it is based on the crack theory. So because accumulation in these cracks, accumulation of certain molecules, they interact. When they interact, no deposition. Scanning aqueous Gl solution with conducting properties. So when this molecular force distribution, unequal molecular force distribution on this, and it equalized the KCl gel equalizes this unequal force molecular force distribution. When it is equalized, then everywhere no lifelines, no wrinkles, your face remains same. So similarly, because we keep doing many things and like this, because slightly enters there because of concentration, and it interacts and equalizes the molecular force distribution. So it means somewhere we are not saying that very high photonic and this hypertonic, but definitely it could be tracked that what happens to the when two compartment type arrangement is there. So for this and in between that semi-permeable membrane. So in this context, we have this led to develop another invention, that is the OSCO service meter. It will come based on this device. That device is also patented. Yes, patent office. Now, simple thing we know very well. If you have this sine wave equation, we know it's a lambda wave. And tuning form we also know. When you bring that tuning form in contact of the water column, sound comes. This has become a remarkable sign for vision meter. The blind people can check the quality of your material, because all your chemicals, NaCl, KCl, glucose, whatever it is there, they have atoms and electrons. Their formulation makes they have chemical energy. If this chemical energy is converted into electrical energy, and further this electrical energy is converted into the sound energy of a specific frequency, just like your cell, then this will become a remarkable asset for visually challenged people. They can study science. They can enter the quality control that areas of industry. And Central University of Gujarat has started a 6-month certificate course. It is our own invention. So I request all the participants, if they want to get benefited some visually challenged person to study the science, please send those people to us. There is no any fee. We only take 100 fee, hostel free. We give food, we give everything to such people. So this is already commercialized by NLF Scientific Instruments, Baroda. And this is very successfully, these people, visually challenged people, are understanding what is in the solution. NaCl is in the solution, KCl is in the solution, or something else in the solution, because each electronic configuration will give the sound of a specific frequency for a specific duration if you take a specific sample. So same thing is there. See, we have conducting already. And now similarly, ECG, electrocardiography, is so simple. We know very well that polarizing, depolarizing. I hope that this signal will be useful for those who have little bit this another subject. So this everywhere this ECG cardiography is checked. It is nothing but what happens. That's just like your oxidation reduction, polarizing, depolarizing. Ions come and go. When ions will go to their site, like physiological pattern of depolarizing and repolarizing the surface, this side or that side. Just like we know that sodium potassium pump. So based on that, the heart starts giving this signal. Just nothing, but only if the system is going on, perfectly going on, then no hindrance. Polarizing, depolarizing, polarizing, depolarizing. It means the almost, if we have a look on this, intensity of this sharper, if it is sharper, it is also an excellent, because phenomena is without interruption. If some side reaction is going on, then we can say some disease or something else. So it is for a healthy person. ECG or AKG, EKG is for a healthy person because perfectly working, and this leads to the narcotic test. So now again I am about bionics. This bionics is nothing but the biological systems and electronic systems, memory chips like Japan is doing. This has come in existence by a simple accidental research. Velcro, fabric hook, biometric. There was a Swiss engineer, George de Mestral, and he was, taking his dog for just a walk. And when he came out, he saw that this birds, we know that this kind of this bird, that, and he gave a thought to this. What happened? What is the design, dimension, everything? So ultimately, he got an idea, and he gave this developed the Velcro fabric hook, or this tree cutting machine, or tree cutting machine also. So these systems, if we little bit pay attention, become a remarkable. So I was talking about that OSCO service meter. So this patent is, and it has superseded the patents of France, and in this year Germany, and this and many other patents, and this new invention is working well. And in general, we do the this for BSc, for MSc, we do the extra element detection in organic compound. We are using ignition tubes, breaking completely. A glass is such a valuable. This, if we see the glass manufacturing technology, it is very expensive, and glass is also not degradable. So we have come up with NOSIA, non-breakable sodium ignition apparatus, where in this zone, diffusion zone, the molecule is taken, and this the plunger is fitted here and just heat. Another important point, that sodium melts at 97 degrees centigrade. But we keep heating because we have to red hot the ignition tube, unnecessary wasting gas and unnecessary causing pollution by breaking glass. There is no need to break the glass. Automatically, original solution will be here, and it can keep working up to any sample. No question of breaking. NOSIA, non-breakable ignition, sodium ignition apparatus. This similarly leads to the, this trees in our body also, microfluidics. I am again is coming back to the interfacial sciences, that if there is a agglomeration agglomerated in this below the roots, water would have not come. But water, the broken water, not a structured water, it's bound with the bound water. That's called bound water with the soil, and the trees go and they pick up, because it is a water, not a coagulated water. So this leads to the remarkable science, that is microfluidics, a capillary science for sensor, for making the remarkable capillaries which are sensing from one end to another end, a passing electricity and dissipating heat. In computers it is used, microfluidics in computer, so that dissipation, heat dissipation quickly will be dissipated, and the bulk material do not dissipate the heat quickly. And if it is also there, if our arteries are like this, then quickly nothing will be deposited. So we conducted this taking this orange and clear in the continuity. We found that because fresh, it was connected. It was just like acted as a microfluidics, and it gave the created the, when these needles were connected, electrodes were connected, and they gave the fluctuation, or electricity. So that way, microfluidics is another remarkable microfluidics or fructofluidics, because based on the cohesive and frictional forces, so it is so functional, so industrially useful, and many scientists are now using. They are also studying that sanitizer is conducting or non-conducting. So that microfluidics become, if it is conducting, it will further create the harm, and if it is normal, so this can check the quality of surface forces like a DLS and others. And this is the device, service meter, full-fledged device where sample is taken here, and it measures many parameters. So it is a green science, and it is a paper publishing machine. Once this service meter is in the lab, we can determine surface tension, we can determine surface area, we can determine activation energy, we can determine shear rate, we can determine shear stress and viscosity, or hydration sphere, or drug release system, and your surface area. So many parameters are measured with single device, and the name exists, the SUR for surface engineering, VIS for viscous or adhesion engineering, or frictional force engineering. So name is also derived from that. And again, this such device is highly useful for, again, monodispersons like this. And these monodispersons are photonic nanoemulsions, and they could be tuned by magnetic field, by any other thing. Now, generally we see that in conduct experiments, we keep saying, and students are also not able to understand iodometry and iodimetry. We talk, this is iodometry, this is iodimetry. See that if you have a look at this iodine in the carbon tetrachloride, iodine molecule in the carbon tetrachloride, see the completely violet. The moment we take the fundamental difference in this, that iodine here is taken, and then it is phased out to the another aqueous phase. If there are two phases, aqueous phase, and then sulfate we take, and then electron, because iodine has very low reduction potential, very low reduction potential. So this, because of this low reduction potential, it can convert it into the iodide, and this iodide directly Ki, that becomes it no color, and this is the iodidity, and so it means the same situation together in the same beaker. Initially the iodometry, and later on when it is converted into the NaI, sodium iodide, it is the iodimetry. There is no any need to different things, that this is iodometry and this is iodimetry. So this becomes a very fundamental new theory and new explanation to understand the iodometry and the iodimetry with the same experiment, with the same, however the stage is different. And since iodimetry is just like a nanoemulsion, these are photonanoemulsion. See the light. This is not reflecting any kind of light as such, but this is different. And these light sensitive pictures, because different chemical species, so different nanohydration species are developed, so they have different responses, and because of that different responses, different light of different wavelength reach to our eyes. So we can understand this, that not only iodometry and iodimetry, but also along with the photonic response of the chemical species, especially the nanohydration. And similarly, if we go to the these days carbon fibers everywhere in ICT technology, that becomes very, very important. We have to understand the this carbon technology, and the field emission is that same pictures here. We have taken this graphene oxide functionalization completely uniform, but when we have added nickel sulfide metallic sulfide nanoparticles, see the picture. When we added zinc ZNS, see the picture, and cadmium, see the picture. It means they are getting anchored. They are chemically engineering the surfaces of this so that the different adequate properties or sensing properties could be developed. So, and this has been used for photocatalysis. Photocatalysis these days, that in the dye industry, textile industries, there's a big problem of pollution caused by the fluorescent dyes, because dyes are almost they high response towards the visible light, so heat generate heat. So what a small amount of this graphene or these compounds added, they within no time chemically they photochemically they reduced, and dye also takes the different properties and it could be separated easily. So now in the same direction that nanoemulsion type, we know very well that we talk quantization index of the molecular energy in nanoemulsions, and we have seen that as I have told you, that thermodynamic and kinetic stability of nanoemulsions is a big challenge. So we have conducted an experiment where curcumin, it is an antioxidant because it scavenges the free radicals. So we have made the nanoemulsions by taking mustard oil, by taking water, by taking ethanol, glycerol in a very specific amount, stoichiometry. And when nanoemulsion was developed, curcumin, of course, curcumin surfactant also in this. And we developed, it was stable at 25 degrees centigrade. There was no coagulation. But when we heated it, then suddenly the temperature, that surface tension or cohesive force increased. It was a big challenge to us. What happened? So we reached on the water which was in the form of suspended water, which was formed in the nanohydration spheres, and ethanol, glycerol, oil, curcumin. So what happened that this not a ionic water, because all these organic molecules. So this was because of this first electrostatic forces. The water was weakly suspended in forming the monolayer that adhesion. So when temperature was given, temperature was raised, this water molecule, it gained the kinetic energy and it phased out. When it's phased out, then cohesive forces increased. Cohesive force means the surface tension increased. So adhesion decreased. So it was not a stable, thermodynamically and kinetically stable nanoemulsion. It was a big challenge. So now this thing that one patent, as I explained to you, and the government of India in 2007 also conducted a workshop on that. And now in the same series, a simple that research, this bisphenyl methaneamine tetrachloroplatinate molecules were synthesized here by changing the position of the chloride at ortho meta para position, and we wanted to see the applications of this for the intercalation. The DNA intercalation means if your molecule interact with the base pairs of the DNA, then DNA is fragmented, completely fragmented, and then what happens? It leads to the different states. So we have seen that when this chloride atom was attached at the ortho position, that time it did not substantially intercalate, and we have taken this. It was the solution was in the MCF7 cell line. So, and when it was on the meta position, slightly intercalated the DNA, but when it was at the para position, it has largely intercalated. So we reached on the conclusion that this symmetry of this molecule, because almost this conjugation here, probably aligning the charge somewhere, and this symmetry, linear symmetry, somewhere is also facilitating this molecule to enter the intercalation, these base pairs. And these base pairs, it means they were, so when it was aligned to reach to the base bond, this base pairs, then they were fragmented. And we developed a model that by measuring the molecule they have, because 4 or 5 molecules were synthesized and their concentration were varied from 0.3 to this micromoles. And we found that when initially there was no intercalation, then their surface energy or cohesive force or surface tension was higher and viscosity was the least. The moment we kept adding this thing, then viscosity started increasing. This viscosity started increasing while the surface tension started decreasing. So we reached on this point that when DNA was not intercalated, they were having highest cohesive forces, but intercalated, then they involved in making the nanohydration. So the cohesive force of this solution was divided into millions of small patches. So for pushing such a molecule, because the loading capability of the fragmented molecule was very high, so shear stress increased, while the shear stress increased at the cost of decreasing the cohesive force. So this is we named this the DFI, drug viscosity interaction models, and it is very successful.
Professor Mantling, last 5 minutes for your talk, sir. Then we will have question answer session.
Okay. So
yeah,
I will.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Please try to conclude us, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So in this connection, we have also subjected these molecules to the magnetic field, magnetorheological fluids. So we use the service meter and the magnet of a specific Tesla capability. The power of this is explained in Tesla, and we found that suddenly when the BSA, it enhanced the its viscosity. It means largely it is deformated completely. This alpha beta sheets were completely broken, and then adherence started, while in case of albumin it was not possible. However, it's a structure and other things. They are tryptophan in the BSA and tyrosine. These molecules may be responsible for this. And similarly, we conducted this pepsin, and the same, it was dissolved in the water, and there was no any specific structure, just this first. But when the magnetic field was given to this, then unfolding started. So surface area increased. Similarly, when ferric chloride, Fe3, which is Fe3 means 3d5 electron started in a big way, and we have determined its surface area. That surface area also increased in a larger way. Surface area was determined with the service meter, and in a similar way, we have also conducted the properties of we have taken citric acid, and we have taken water and hemoglobin, and also ionic liquids. 1-ethyl, 3-methylamine, azodium chloride, butyl, and similarly hexyl. We found a remarkable trend that when the hexyl, this ionic liquid was added, it has created the larger structure environment in the citric acid aqueous solution. So its shear stress was good. Similarly, it decreased. So that way, and it was also compared with the frequency, the same pattern. However, in frequency, density is not measured, and this is you calculated by this Manson equation. And this viscosity is not able to determine the transitions whenever we are adding new things. However, frequency determines the transitions. When the hemoglobin is added, then transition state, and when the ionic liquids are added, the transition state. So viscosity is not able to clearly predict the ultra accurate changes, ultra, or I can say very highly resolved changes, and frequency, because it is a dual force theory. So now, because this tracks, as I have already told you, that monodispersion means the surface charges are expressive, and these surface charges help in aligning and interacting with the dust particle or coronavirus particle or something else, because they also create zeta potential. So zero zeta potential means negative positives are similar. So because of by creating the that stoichiometry, we can change. And this oscillatory mechanism, as I told you, that here contact area is highest, but here contact area is 0, and almost the nanoemulsion, so oscillatory, that making the waveform. Similarly, these are different phenomena, and another important, if someone is interested to determine the contribution of the Na, for example, the anions, for example, NaNO3, NaCl, and sodium acetate, cations common here, but anions are different. Frequency gave the clear-cut distinction between these two, and this was also checked with the C as such and C square also, just like electrolyte water it gave. So, and it is a very simple green technology, green parameter, only viscous flow time, and the pendant drop numbers are calculated, and this becomes a remarkable function. And so another important challenge for us was that when this graphene is functionalized, and there's an accidental process, because in this process the KMnO4 and H2SO4 are used, and this is a very so. However, because of safety, S3PO4 is used. So it is a question that how the reduction Mn7 to Mn2, it is a reduction and also simultaneously preparing the nascent oxygen. So this was people have been using, but we have developed a simple method by taking KMnO4 and K2Cr2O7 both, and no use of any S3PO4 or H2SO4 is also reduced. That is safer method. Simple this functionalized photocatalysis reaction, and this lanthanide nano rods, not the of capping, and the adhesion solvents and capping agents were added around this. So now this when we take the magnetic nanoparticles or any metallic nanoparticle different, how we can distinguish, and generally it becomes a challenge when megamite or magnetite is there. Reverse micelle we have studied, we have also checked our another, as I told you, European patent by passing the electricity. It has distinguished and separated the megamite and magnetite molecules. And so I was talking that this question of monodispersion and nanoemulsions, because charge expressions are there, so their fluid dynamics becomes a very challenging task. And by studying, because charges are there, quadrupolar, dipolar to quadrupolar, and orientation pattern becomes a very scientific in nature. So we have determined them by this service meter. It is already commercialized, globally going, and it is because it measures multiple parameters, not a one parameter. So green science, green technology, and it is it supersedes the Brookfield viscometer that gives only one parameter, Canon viscometer that gives one LODA, and so many other things. So this service meter is a green technology and giving so many parameters is globally going, a very prominent research work from Indian soil. And see, this many universities are using it as an analytical device. They are charging because many parameters are there. Somewhere it is non-their university probably. So like this, many universities, they have developed separate lab for service meter analysis only. And this is the parameters which are calculated, equations which are calculated. And now simple method, sample is taken. If it is volatile, then it is taken by Teflon syringe. Otherwise, it can be it's the overall measuring process. And these all are the parameters which are measured. And now the fundamental situation for the frequency. This is a super adhesive, and its viscosity was measured. We were confused that why this is not coming. A point stuck to our mind that let us see dual force theory, because frequency takes into account the frequency, the cohesive force and frictional forces. So these dark areas which were not resolved by the viscosity, stoichiometric effect was not seen by the viscosity, it was resolved by the frequency. It means frequency is a very remarkable, authentic parameter. It should be used, not the viscosity and surface tension. Now, this is a simple equation that sigma dot is the sample, the medium or solvent of frequency, T by T0 is the viscous flow time of solvent, the sample and the solvent, d by T kinetic energy correction, and n is the pendant drop number for the sample n0 this. So this equation, this is called the Mansingh equation, and we found that this correction terms, kinetic energy correction b by T and buoyancy correction, they were 10 to power minus 7 to 10 to power 6. So we have now redesigned this equation by omitting this. And this equation has come similar parameter, solvent parameter taken out, and this is a proportional T. Now this becomes a constant, proportionality constant or Mansingh constant. So these are directly proportional to T and directly proportional to N. So this Mansingh equation is a very successfully calculating many parameters, simple sciences. So I will now frequency. We have taken the iron nanoparticle, titanium, zinc, and so many others, but titanium nanoparticles which were having high were injected in the egg at the top, so the needle, and we found that because higher frequency of titanium nanoparticle, they percolated to the protein which was responsive for developing the embryo, it was damaged, while others could not. So this frequency, this paper has come already in the Nature. So this thing that frequency is a remarkable science, and this service meter was calibrated National Physical Laboratory and patented also, technology transfer, and this is it's a resource. And now my talk over, madam.
Hello.
Thank
you, sir.
Please.
The information.
Please, I have finished.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you, sir. Thank you for your
so
time.
much, sir. Yeah.
The session
Yeah,
was
please
very
continue.
informative.
Yeah.
Now, participants, if you have any questions, you can ask to sir. You can type your question in chat option also.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I want to know now, we are a beginner, we are doing the research. So, right now we are reading literature. We are reviewing the literature. Literature reading is going on. So, what will be the next step, sir, after this?
This is a very excellent question. The next step is in your mind only, because literature survey has come out of your mind, and you have chosen this process and research for your ideas, original ideas only. So everything is present in your mind. So you have to, if it is a mechanical process for namesake, it is not a research, it is a post activity. But if you are so interested and so keen to do the research work, definitely your each and every moment will be very in a out of box thinking. So automatically one step leads If I am doing a step with full intensity, definitely it will open an outlet for the second step, third step like this, as I quoted the pattern of pressure in the eye. So your second step will come from your mind. If it is come from others' mind, I do not know whether it has quality or not. Please don't mind. So the fundamental question, the hunger should be in your brain, in you, that you have to look for this literature survey, which specific problem you are looking for. That also does not mean literature survey that, madam, is a bulk approach. It is not a bulk approach. It is not a populated approach. It is clear that I am searching literature for in which particular area, and that area is specific particular, which particular that micro area, nano area, which theme. So all these things, I'm sure that if you are very hungry, it is like a food. If I am very hungry, I will automatically go to the hotel. If I am thirsty, I will automatically find. No one will let me know where is the water. No one will let me know. If someone says water is there, that's why research is this is the there. It should be like a routine thing. It should be like a food. It should be like a water. It should be in our blood. It's just this research automatically should come out. And
Okay, sir.
you will not only do, madam, second step, but I'm sure one day you will come up with remarkable breakthrough. Don't confine yourself. Honorable madam, don't confine yourself to anything. Keep your brain open. We do not know what could enter your brain. Am I right?
Okay.
madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Please.
Quite
I may be wrong. Please.
No, no, you are correct, sir. Thank
No,
you.
madam. Please don't say I am a learner. Madam, beginning I told you I do not have too much knowledge. I am a learner, less in the student in the beginning. So please, I know this thing. So I told you that I will try to interact on you. Please.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Please.
Thank you, sir. Any other question? Participants, you can ask questions.
I have one question for Professor Man Singh.
Sir.
I'm Ajay Bhattrai from Tiruvan University. The Professor Man Singh has gifted us one service meter in eastern part of Nepal in Viratnagar, and with the help of service meter, our student got good publication, and with his knowledge, we are able to use Man Singh service meter in the syllabus of Tiruvan University. This is the proud of green technology, green science to achieve the country like Nepal. We are able to do more work. Now, my question is that digital service meter is very essential to make it popular all over the world. When digital Man Singh service meter will come in the market? Please,
sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your remarkable encouraging me this thing remarkably encouraging me, and the invention, taking the note of this invention, and I am very glad that you have introduced in your syllabus. However, in India, in many universities, it is already introduced, but now I am getting this information that in Tribhuvan University syllabus it is introduced.
Yes, sir.
Great, sir. So, sir, actually, you are very right. The work is going on, and now Borosil is also taking initiatives to digitalize this. However, it would have come long back, but the person who was working day and night, suddenly the pacemaker was fitted in his heart, and suddenly God called him. So this was slightly delayed. But now, this Borosil is taking initiative, and hope that with the blessing of people like you or anybody who can come forward can commercialize. There's no issue like this. So hope, sir, with your blessings, it may come. It can see the day of the light soon.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. I'm very happy with your presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Right now, you are in India or Nepal?
Now I'm in Kathmandu during the COVID period. I have a good connection with the Brahma Kumari Spiritual University. I'm using my time in meditation and then writing the research paper, guiding my students, online classes, so on.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome, sir.
We can take a few more questions, 2-3 questions. Participant, if you have any questions, please ask. You can type your question in chat option also.
Because question answer is good, na, madam.
Yes, sir.
Question answer, maximum question answer should be there, na, so that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So participants, please ask questions if you have any.
Madam, do you know one Chinese word proverb? I'm sharing one thing, madam.
Sorry?
I am sharing one Chinese saying.
Okay, sir. Okay, please share.
You know, people say that Chinese say that raising question, I may be fool for 2 minutes, but not raising question and hiding my queries may be fool forever.
Hello?
Ji.
Yes, sir. I just want to know about the nanoparticle in organic and inorganic terms.
Nanoparticle? Bolo, please.
Nanoparticle, advantage of nanoparticle in organic and inorganic terms.
Invention of nanoparticle.
Yes, sir.
Is in organic or?
Yes, sir. Organic and inorganic.
Matlab, whether it is organic or whether it is inorganic.
Organic, sir.
No, please, I could not understand your question, actually.
I just want to know about the advantage of nanoparticle in our routine life and organic and inorganic.
Excellent. I got excellent question. Very, very excellent question. I start with the fruit juice, madam. See that fruit juice, I quoted one example. If I take a rice, I will feel sleepy because my energy, bulk and my energy is given to, because it needs a higher activation energy to break down the bulk rice type carbohydrate. But if I take the juice, then they are already in nanoemulsion glucose form, or in other than it is not a bulk form, it is 100% micro or nano emulsion, small that cohesive force is completely weakest. Number one. Number two, if you take that soup and eating that solid this thing, soup is again is a kind of nano emulsion because suspension is there. And madam, washing clothes, nano emulsion, myself, surfactant, and pesticide nano emulsion, and our this thing, nano thin film coating. You might have seen this industry. I'm quoting one example. If we putting nail polish, if it is a mono dispersion, it will be excellent. If light will be also have, because light will come and will be reflected as such. I have shown the example of oil spreading. But if it is multiple layers, quality of nail polish is not good, then what will happen, madam? Photons will come because there are many layers below. So photon will oscillate, will pass on energy to below. Ultimately, it will create danger to our this nail later on. So if it is a mono dispersion, then nail polish is a mono, light will come and go. So now I am saying that in life, these are very, 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 very important in many forms, honorable madam. And why we are heating water? We do not want to take structured water. We want to take the broken water, because broken water, larger surface area. So very good question. Very good question.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir, for answering the questions. Any more questions from participants? So thank you, sir. Thank you for your time, and the session was very informative. Thank you for enlightening us with your knowledge and experience.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And I thank all the participants also. Okay. So participants are requested to fill the attendance. The link is already shared. So we will close the today's session.